Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of a real media product? My media product uses many conventions in many ways. Firstly, I took a lot of images, experimenting with different shot types, mise-en-scene, location and poses. I then picked out the most appropriate so that I could use them on my 3 pages. As from my textual analysis, I used the convention of using images of male and female, those who were dressed in a way to represent the hip-hop grime genre. My main artist was dressed in a black graffiti-coloured street t-shirt along with black jeans, extremely conventional to the chosen genre. I used the convention of a medium close-up of my main artist as I felt that it was the most appropriate shot type. The idea of the pose I presented created a sense of intimidation towards the audience, which of course is stereotypical of this type of genre magazine. Also, I used the convention of colour as this related to my hairstyle. I had to make sure it looked professional and consistent, just like a real media product. I experimented with different colours until I came to a decision that I was happy with, which looked effective on the 3 pages. Another essential convention I used was the masthead. As I learned from my primary research, it is the biggest font on the page, or the pages. I tried out different fonts and created a mood board, which then left me with a few fonts to choose from suited to my chosen genre. Another way I made my magazine more conventional was by using a flash on the front cover in a certain colour to contrast well with the other colours on the page. Conventionally, the pages included the page number and website and the use of text regarding the content inside the magazine. In addition to this, I put a barcode with the information of the issue number and price on the front cover, which is conventional to a music magazine. As for challenging convention, I challenged the use of font from the magazine I was copying and went for a more graffiti style looking format. Question 2. How does your media product represent particular social groups? My music magazine is hip-hop grime genre based, therefore the content inside links in with this industry and refers to the culture and streets. I deliberately used the ethnicity of Afro-Caribbean race male as my main artist, as this type of race is stereotypical to my chosen genre as seen from my textual analysis. Yet, to make the representation of my magazine less stereotypical, I used another ethnicity, of which included images of Asian people. This was so that I could differentiate towards other existing hip-hop grime magazines, as from my research it is shown that the Afro-Caribbean race and culture takes over this type of genre. This also meant that I challenged the conventions at this point of the task. Furthermore, the gender used in my magazine represents strength and dominance for the male and sex appeal and pleasure for female. Also, while doing my research, I looked at the 6 demographic profiles so that I had a fair idea of what social group my magazine would appeal to, and after taking it into consideration, I found out that classes D and E from the 6 would be the ones that would appeal to my magazine, as it is working class readership and students. From these classes, it is clear that the type of age that would represent my magazine is from the young generation. Question 3. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? Before I created my magazine, during my research, I did a textual analysis on certain magazines suited to my chosen genre. The magazines I studied were Rewind Mag, The Source and Vibe, all of which related to the genre of hip-hop grime. One institution called Intermedia Partners, who distribute hip-hop urban culture magazines, Vibe, would be interested in distributing my product as it is relevant to their suited music genre. Another institution that would distribute my magazine is North Star Group from the Source magazine, as this company publishes magazine referring to the hip-hop lifestyle and culture. Question 4. Who would be the audience for your media product? During the production, obtaining an audience's opinion on my production was perhaps one of the most important things I could have gained. In my opinion, I feel that the pages I've created are fairly entertaining. However, my readership profile may disagree. This is why I have now decided to ask a small group of peers who listen to the genre of hip-hop grime about my magazine I have created and what they think, whether it's good or bad. This is so that I have a clear insight on whether I have reached my target audience, and as a result I am happy with the comments, as it has appealed to majority of my readership profile. In addition, referring back to the question specifically, I feel that my product is aimed at a common social group that appeals to a variety of people rather than one fixed stereotype. The magazine is based on hip-hop culture, artists and lifestyles, where my magazine has fallen under a society with huge mass media. Although these types of magazines are predominantly aimed at young boys and older men, it is clear that with my magazine I have aimed it at a mixed audience where it includes females, as certain artists have been put in the magazine to appeal to this genre rather than the dominated one. Also with this, the price of my product reflected on the disposable income of my target audience. I priced my magazine at $2.99 as it was from my questionnaire. It was suitable price that my audience could afford. Question 5. How did you address your audience? From my music magazine, one main thing I had to consider was my audience and what they expected of a music magazine. I did this by firstly creating a questionnaire which I gave out to my readership profile. As a result, I obtained results containing what my readership liked, disliked about magazines and what type of features appealed to them. I then took this all into consideration and tried to create a magazine suited to my target audience, in which I believe was a success. In addition, from my developed understanding in my textual analysis, I purposely used a famous male on the front cover, as when my audience looked at it, it is seen as a role model and they perhaps want to be like them. Along with this, they may be interested in the artist on the front cover, which is another way I attracted my audience. I also differentiated the people I chose to be in the magazine by doing male and female. As I added females into the magazine, it added a sex appeal impact towards men, resulting in pleasure and passion towards them. Moreover, referring to the conventions of a magazine, I use a flash on the front cover to attract my readers to buy the magazine and read that exclusive page. This created enigma codes in terms of making the viewer want to buy the magazine and read it. I addressed my audience clearly by the use of cross-media and stating the website on the front cover and the bottom of the other pages in the magazine. This is also another convention in my music magazine which I learned from my textual analysis. The mode of address was done by the use of colloquial language in my magazine, as it was the type of language that my audience understood and used in everyday life.